What if you have a build that is so versatile and also future-proof and kind of a nerf-proof in some ways? That had some of the advantages that you see here. Of course it has more, but these are the highlights. And it demolishes bosses in Crucible. Would you use one? Well, this is my new build. This is exactly it. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to show you gameplay. I'm going to show you, of course, what I use and some tips, of course, how to make the best out of it. So let's begin. Hello everybody, in this video I'm showing you my new build. This one is, well, a bit cold, let's say it like that. And it's amazing. It's probably the most feature-rich in terms of utility and probably going to be good for everything that even comes on because it just boasts so many things that you can actually do. And it's actually quite unique, as you're going to soon see, because it actually rely on us actually being heavy for some of the defense capabilities, but lots more. So basically what I'm using, you're going to use the Needle Spear, all right? I have it cold, but if you decide to, I decide to go with cold in general, kind of ice and cold with the bow, but you can decide to go otherwise with another gem. We have Damage Surge, this is built in the weapon. And we have Advancing Flurry. I went for testing other type of Needle Spear with different ones, and this one is a keeper. I'm going to show you, of course, in a moment. We have, you can see, cold damage here. Focus in health, which is very important. We rely heavily on basically infinite attack of Advancing Flurry. If you decide to use it, we can. And health, which is important as well, because this weapon, as you can see here, have this attack. So this lots of the attack of the last attack of the combo does lots of hits, and basically because I also have here healing effects and healing effects increase, basically we're going to heal a lot if we need to. So we're going to be very tanky, but we can also heal a lot because of the combo. It synergizes well with healing, so it's great to have health damage on the weapon. Otherwise you need to sacrifice something. And so yeah, so if you get it with health on damage dealt, it's great. Durability is not even a negative here. I mean, it's not really important. The other thing is we are also having bow. This is a very feature-rich build, feature-rich build, as you're going to soon see. The important thing here is having, of course, you can use everything, but Ice Arrow is very important here because it allows us to freeze enemies, and it synergizes very well with us. We need to close distance, for example, or you know, just dealing with other things that otherwise would be a bit more difficult. And basically it works very well. It's super fun also to combine it. So again, you just press the L1 and then you can attack, and then you can continue using it. You can just go again, attack, close distance. All right, but the thing is you need to pay attention to is that the stamina bar. So I mean, if you decide to spam it and you're going to be heavy, it's going to be a problem. You don't have to go heavy. I decided to go heavy. So again, we consume more stamina. Keep this in mind. So we need to have extra stamina in some way or another. So if you have it, I recommend having it on the armor, of course. So here you have, for example, stamina increase by 20%. You can find probably other synergies that can be good with it, even with the ring. But that's what I went with, and actually works very well. Now the thing is that if you are heavy, you can actually do this bash, L1 and R1, which is amazing. It drops enemies down, and it's just amazing against those who have shields. You know, it's just perfect. If they get too close to you, you just bash them, and of course, if you bash them forward, you can still continue hitting them because you can reach from far. It works very well. The bash is very, very strong in this game, so I really wanted to play with this for a change. Other than that, we have 2 rings. By the way, regarding the armor, high equip load for against you can equip more. Healing effects is great. Poise defense is great. Resistances, of course, is good. Is nice to have. Healing is also important with synergy as well with the fast attack of the combo. Poise defense, reflect is not that important, especially when you attack a bit from far. Sometimes, I mean, it's okay, but it's not a must. Stamina on damage dealt is very, very important if you can get it, especially when you are heavy. So this is why it's very important for this build if you go with heavy. Equip load here, and stamina increase also very important. We're going to go with 2 rings, Band of Calmness. Again, we want kind of an infinite. Maybe you can get it even with 1 in some way, but I went with 2. We want to have infinite so we can actually spam the Advancing Flurry, which is amazing, and you soon see. And also we can get extra focus again. Maybe the thing is that you can go with less, and if you can increase it otherwise, because if you're gonna be infinite, you don't actually need the extra 100. But again, I went with this one. Nonetheless, it works well. Using Fierce Ring to increase the armor and damage dealt as well. All right, so this is the core of the build. Keep in mind, it's not fully optimized. I would respec otherwise, make something just slightly different. But dexterity 40 is important, because if you want to go with the bow like I did, all right, you need 42. All right, so this is one thing. All right, so again, I'm going to respec once they introduce respec. I'm going to kind of change a bit things. I actually changed something regarding the armor, because I was, I wanted to go heavy, so I made a little change. Otherwise, this is the core build. Let's see some gameplay. All right, so keep in mind, if we have damage surge, by the way, I made some kind of a pause because of the recording. We're going to see this in a moment, so that's why I stopped. If you see me just stopping for several seconds, getting a bit of damage, because I need to stop. We have tons of stagger damage. All right, crazy. Now I'm going to spam. Look at that. Oh, let me stop and show you again. All right, let's pay attention. Pay attention to the stagger bar. All right, look at that. Look how crazy it is in such a short time, getting this almost full stagger, like 70%. It's just nuts. Yeah, so insane stagger. Now we can spam it. Look at that. Look at the bar at the top for the focus. You see? Just continue charging. I'm getting infinite, basically. Now, it's better just going for the focus attack. So don't need to use stamina or anything. But if you want to heal, you can actually use the regular one. Not even attacking me. Again, we're attacking with cold damage here. It's crazy how strong it is. Alright, same against this boss. You're going to see, by the way, the pause that I did in a moment. Because this puts for 2 minutes recording, and I thought it's not going to record it, so. Sorry, I just took the time to stop recording. I reinitiated it again. Alright, next time I'm going to show you the bash, how amazing it is. It's kind of having like a skill just because you're heavy. And the follow-up, of course. Super, super useful. Now, the Advancing Flurry, it's called Advancing because you are advancing. And this is great if you want to interact with enemies' attack. So you can actually just put it in because you're actually attacking and you have range in your advancing. It's just advancing. You have really great range. So take a look here. So having that, especially against enemies with shields or basically against anything, is going to be very, very good. Now we don't know what's going to come ahead, but being able to freeze enemies and advance, especially if you have good range, an advanced attack is very, very useful. So here I'm using the bow to just freeze the enemy, and then I can just quickly go in and attack. So the bash is very strong for enemies, as you can see, but it's very strong for you as well. So I didn't basically want to get a throw something as a second B. I actually wanted exactly this type of attack that I have, which is so amazing, and you have great stagger. And it's great for the range as well, so the bow is actually a great addition. Also having, by the way, both fire, ice and physical damage on the same bow is great. And you can use it from far to just charge your focus, although again for this build it's not really necessary. Also on advancing enemies, having slow, it doesn't have to be, of course, this particular one, but allows you, of course, to do the range damage if they're coming close to you. So because they're slow, you can put those hits in while they're actually keeping distance, basically zoning them out. So you can see a combination of attacking from far using the bow and then attacking, combining, you know, different things. Attack, bash. I don't think about that this particular was a bash, but you can. Attack, freeze in this case, and closing in and attacking. Now here, by the way, your attack can be good against several enemies because of the arc attack, you know, kind of 360. So again, it's very, very good when you're facing several enemies, not just one. So basically the goal is to create a build that has, infinite focus, insane stagger, great mid-range and long-range capability, of course being able to deal with in short range against enemies as well, freeze capability, various attack elements from the bow, of course some of them, physical fire, ice and cold, great against bosses, eye damage, fast healing, great against multiple enemies and shielded enemies, bash capability again for close range, being super tanky, fun and useful multi-weapon build, and being versatile and future-proof. Keep in mind that I haven't used a gem on the bow as well, on the legendary. I can actually decide to go with another type of element, which also increase the variation if something again will change to be very important when it comes to elements. Although there is effect here in the game, it might be even more important later on. So having this option to use even another element on the bow as well can be very beneficial. Oh, by the way, pushing enemies into the water, it's super fun. So you can see that overall this wintry build in quotation is amazing. It has so many things going for it, and basically I feel like it's very safe against especially nerfs that might be in the future. It's so versatile, basically great against anything, both in terms of defense and attack capabilities. Also using the bow is amazing. Actually using also a legendary in the build is fun. One that can actually be useful. And just switching between the two again with the LB, just using it, you're gonna feel it. It's just so smooth, just transitioning between the two. It just feels great once you play. You just switch, attack, switch with the bow. It feels amazing. Of course, lots of different attack elements might be even useful later on, with more enemies being resilient to maybe some elements. Even more importantly, we'll see, of course, in future updates. High damage, great healing, great against again multiple enemies and shielded enemies, of course against single targets as well. The bash capability is so much fun, and also the great defense against enemies that come close to you. The build is super tanky, fun, and of course using the multi-weapon build if you wanted to do that. And it also comes with a nice damage buff as well built into the weapon itself. And also the bow has an evasive capability, although I don't use it at all because again the bash allows me to just, get the advantage of evading enemies' attacks if they come close. You just put them to sleep for a second. And the most important thing, it's so much fun to play. You have to give it a try. You have to. Thanks for watching.